Definitely one of the more reasonable villains from Call of Duty. Imran Zakhaev never really gets talked about, and I don't know why, because he's the actual first Call of Duty villain that we go up against. So in this video, I'll basically be laying out his complete story from the beginning all the way up until the end. So stick around, because there's definitely some things in here that I didn't even know that is gonna surprise you as well. Zakhaev was born to an unknown father and mother during the reign of the Soviet Union. He believed in the Soviet Union's ideals and goals. This belief is what would drive him in his goals in his later years. Sometime either in 1971 or 1972, he had a son who he named Viktor Zakhaev, and Zakhaev loved his son, even going as far to make him a field commander for his paramilitary faction later on in life. In 1996, 15 years before the Second Russian Civil War, Zakhaev witnessed the collapse and downfall of the Soviet Union, and he took this as an opportunity to salvage the radioactive fuel rods from Chernobyl's nuclear power plant in Pripyat and sell the precious uranium as nuclear material on the black market. Through the profits that he gained from these dealings, Zakhaev planned to fund his own extremist military faction that would regain control of Russia and restore it to its Soviet-era regime. His activities are noted by the British intelligence, and the SAS received its first assassination order since the ending of World War II. The SAS dispatched two operatives, Macmillan and Lieutenant John Price, to Pripyat as snipers to eliminate Zakhaev.
Zakhaev never forgot what we did for him that day. Our reward was power.
Macmillan believed that Zakhaev would die from shock and blood loss, but this was not the case. Zakhaev survived after being driven away by Makarov and Yuri, but this failed assassination attempt cost Zakhaev his left arm. 15 years later, in 2011, Zakhaev became the chairman of the Russian Ultranationalist Party. In his opinion, the current Russian government prostituted his beloved homeland to the West, ruining their economy, their culture, and their honor. Harboring strong hatred of the Western countries, Zakhaev sought to return Russia to its prime, possibly seeking to return it to its condition before the Soviet Union collapsed. With himself in power to topple the current Russian government, Zakhaev took the next step in his plan, and the Ultranationalists waged a political crisis that escalated into a civil war in Russia. The Second Russian Civil War became critical to world peace, as it became clear that if the Ultranationalists would win, Zakhaev would have unlimited access to the entire Russian nuclear weapons arsenal, including over 15,000 active nuclear warheads. Zakhaev understood that his plan would never work because the Civil War would draw the attention of the US and the UK, who supported the current Russian government. However, Zakhaev had influential and political allies in the Middle East like al-Assad, who was a military commander. Zakhaev contacted al-Assad and funded and masterminded a military coup, which is when President Yasser al-Fulani was overthrown by soldiers that are loyal to al-Assad. Zakhaev and his son took part in the coup in the Arabian Peninsula. Victor was in the car that transported Yasser al-Fulani to the arena where he was executed. Imran Zakhaev gave al-Assad the pistol and witnessed the execution of al-Fulani himself. Al-Assad assumed control of his homeland, causing political instability in the Middle East and leading the United States Marine Corps to invade the country, and the capital city of Al-Assad's homeland was under attack by US forces. Zakhaev's plan was working. However, al-Assad detonated a Russian-made nuclear bomb on Makarov's orders, as it was revealed in Modern Warfare 3, leveling the city and destroying the invaded enemy force, or the American invasion. Soon after, it was revealed that al-Assad was in a safe house being protected by Zakhaev's ultranationalist forces. However, the SAS operatives led by John Price captured and interrogated al-Assad before killing him.
Who was that, sir?
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
The evidence that was gathered by the SAS revealed Zakhaev provided al-Assad the nuclear weapon that was detonated in the Arabian Peninsula. It also revealed that he was the mastermind responsible for everything that was happening in the Middle East. When the UK and the United States understood that Zakhaev planned to divert attention of both countries from the Second Russian Civil War, the SAS and the USMC were ordered to locate and capture Viktor Zakhaev in order to persuade him to reveal the location of his father. The operation failed when Viktor, unable to face capture, offed himself, and deeply affected by the death of his son, Imran demanded all US and British forces should leave Russia immediately or suffer the consequences by launching the ICBMs from a missile silo that was captured by the ultranationalist forces.
Our so-called leaders prostituted us to the West, destroyed our culture, our economy, our honor. Our blood has been spilled on our soil. My blood on their hands. They are the invaders. All US and British forces will leave Russia immediately or suffer the consequences.
The SAS and Marine Force reconnaissance operatives were dispatched to central Russia to deactivate the nuclear warheads in the silo. However, Zakhaev launched 2 ballistic missiles to the 8 largest cities on the east coast of the United States. The SAS and Force reconnaissance operatives were able to secure and deactivate all nuclear warheads before they got to the US, and after the warheads were deactivated, Zakhaev and a few of his bodyguards escaped from the launch facility in a helicopter. The American and British forces attempted to flee from the silo, but the bridge that was crucial to their escape was destroyed by an ultranationalist helicopter. During the firefight on the bridge, Griggs of the Force Reconnaissance was killed by the ultranationalists while attempting to save Soap, and Zakhaev and his bodyguards arrived at the scene, while Zakhaev personally executed an SAS operative named Gaz, and Zakhaev's bodyguards shot the other 2 SAS commandos before they moved to kill Soap and Price. When the Russian loyalists showed up and began engaging the ultranationalist forces, it distracted Zakhaev and his bodyguards, giving Soap enough time to shoot Zakhaev and his 2 bodyguards and killing them all. 5 years following Imran Zakhaev's death in 2016, Imran Zakhaev was revealed to have a statue of himself erected in Moscow with a plaque entitled Imran Zakhaev, Hero of the New Russia by Vladimir Makarov. He also had an airport named after him in his honor, later to be the target of a terrorist attack by Makarov. After going over his complete story or history, Imran Zakhaev really does stick out from a lot of COD villains. He's not plain evil, it looks like, because it really just looked like he wanted to just get money and mind his own business, but we came in there, or the US and, the British forces came in there trying to disrupt that because they just assumed that he was super dangerous, because before that, he didn't do anything besides sell weapons, so that's really all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching.